Okay, so welcome. We're going to do Algebra 2, Unit 1, Lesson 1, Part B right now. Okay, so now we're going to do some combining like terms work here to go through some notes with some vocabulary, show out an example, and then you want to do the practice problems. Make sure you check that key with me, and then make sure that everything's good before you go to that exit ticket. All right, so that being said, so like terms, so what do like terms have? Let's remember back from Algebra 1. So like terms have the same variable and the same exponent, okay? So they're what we can add and subtract, okay? All right, so now it says box all the like terms of 8x. So I'm going to box the 8x so I know what I'm doing. And then it says circle, and then for illustration I'm going to switch colors here, all the like terms of negative 3. Okay, so let's box the terms of 8x. I'm going to go through each one. So 3x, does that have the same variable? Yes. Does it have the same exponent? Yes. Remember, if there's no exponent written there, it's implied to be a 1. So I'm going to box that 3x. Okay, I'm going to move down. Negative 10x. Again, it has x with no exponent, so it's implied to be a 1. I'm going to box that as well. Okay, now I see 4x squared. So it has the same variable, different exponent. So it's not a like term. Obviously, the 2 doesn't have an x at all, so that can't work. 2x, same variable, same exponent. Let's box it. Okay, negative x squared. Again, it has that squared term, so different exponent. Doesn't work. Negative 9 doesn't even have an x at all, so it doesn't work. And then the x squared, y squared, well, that has a y squared. This never had y squared, so it's not a like term. So we just have those 3 for the 8x. So now let's switch gears to the negative 3. So negative 3 is a constant. It has no variable. So to have a like term, we need other constants. So what else is just a constant? No variable. Well, the 2 is, and the negative 9 is. So those are our 2 like terms for the constant. Okay, next, adding like terms. So what do we do when we add like terms? We add the coefficients, the variables stay the same. So remember from Algebra 1, the coefficient is that term in front of the variable. It's what's multiplying with the variable. So in this case, for 3x squared plus 5x squared, it's 3 and 5. So 3 plus 5 is 8, and then x squared, remember, that's the variable in the exponent, so that stays the same. So 3x squared plus 5x squared is 8x squared. Okay, so now let's do a subtracting. So it's the exact same thing, it's just we're subtracting the coefficients. So here we see x squared minus 4x squared. Well, again, remember that's the implied 1 right there. So 1 minus 4. Well, 1 minus 4 is negative 3. And now we've got x squared, so that stays the same. So negative 3x squared. Okay, next, multiplying. Okay, so when we multiply, we're going to multiply the coefficients and add the exponents. This is a big skill from Algebra 1 that a lot of times people have some struggles with. So let's go through it. So 2 times 3, those are our coefficients. We're going to multiply those just like we did years ago. 2 times 3, 6. So now remember, if I don't see an exponent there, it's an implied 1. Some people like to even write the 1 in. Absolutely, if that helps you, write that 1 in there. So now it's 1 times 2, but really when we're asked to multiply the exponents, we're going to add them. So 1 and 2 is going to give us 3, so we're going to get 6x to the third. Okay? All right, so now we see here we've got a monomial that we need to distribute. So we're going to multiply 1, 2, 3, 4 times. All right, so let's do it. So 3 times 4 is going to give us 12, and then we add the exponents. So then when we go here, for the x squared and x to the fourth, remember when we're asked to multiply exponents, we add them. So 2 and 4 give us 6. Now we've got 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Squared and squared is going to give us negative 9x to the fourth. 3 times 6 is going to give us 18. Well, I've got x squared. This 6 was a constant, didn't have any variables, so that's just going to stay as x squared. Then I've got 3 times 2 is 6, and then I've got x squared, and x is x to the third. Okay, none of those have the same exponents, so we can't add or subtract them because the exponents are 6, 4, 2, and 3. Now, if we were pushing this, we'd want to write it in standard form, meaning from highest to lowest exponent. So we'd switch these last 2. Since this is our first unit of the year, you'd be okay with just leaving this as your answer. All right, and then applying the order operations while combining like terms. The last thing here for this portion. You can see this example's already been kind of done out for you, but I'll just kind of show you what we're looking at. We see the very first term here. We're always looking to combine like terms to begin. So I see 7x minus x. Well, remember, that's an implied coefficient of a 1, so 7 minus 1 is going to give us 6. So we have 6x. So the next step here is to distribute. So negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. X to the first, and x to the first is x squared. Negative 5 times 3 is negative 15, x. Then we're looking for like terms. Well, the negative 10x squared does not have a like term, so we're just going to bring it down. And then I see negative 15x plus 24x. So negative 15 plus 24 is 9x. Then the negative 6 constant has no like term, so it just goes ahead and gets brought down. And that would be our final answer. Hope this helps. Work on that practice before you get to that exit ticket.